Good afternoon. My presentation is about liberalism and foreign policy. So let's start. Firstly, what is liberalism? Liberalism is the most commonly accepted alternative theoretical perspective to realism. Liberalism emphasizes interdependence between states. Ties and relationships between states have decreased the usefulness of military power. Liberalism was developed in the 1970s as many experts began to argue that realism was an old concept. Due to globalization, the rise of global communications and an increase in international trade meant that states could no longer rely on simple power politics to decide matters. Cosmopolitan morality rather than balance of power. Humanity benefits from a peaceful international order. Nations can develop and trade, which leads to progress. States aren't the only important actors in international relations. International organizations such as European Union, UN, and African Union. Societies and states have become so connected by the end of the 20th century that the way they relate to each other has changed in significant ways. Interdependence. States and their fortunes are connected with each other. What happens in one state can have effects on another state. Relations between two states can greatly affect relations between other states. And the question, haven't states always been connected? Liberalism suggests a particular and specific kind of interdependence characterized by modern international system. Complex interdependence, Robert Cohen and Joseph Nye. Multiple channels. In international politics, there are multiple channels connecting the societies, including all the interstate, transgovernmental, and transnational transactions. Multiple issues. Security is not the most important issue. State and non-state actors deal with a variety of issues in a world where the line between domestic and foreign policy is blurred. Any issue can be the most important for a state. Decline in use and effectiveness of military force. Due to military costs being very costly and uncertain, it has begun to decline in importance. It cannot be completely ignored, but it's not the ultimate necessity to achieve survival. Non-state actors in global politics. Transnational corporations such as McDonald's, Apple, Nike. NGOs such as Catholic Church, Red Cross, Amnesty International. Intergovernmental organizations such as United Nations, European Union, African Union. All important international connections across state boundaries. These global actors have a variety of interests. States are not only interested in military security. Economic, ideological, religious, and cultural issues are part of the global agenda. Even issues that realists would see as purely domestic can have an effect on the global system. For example, environmental regulations may be adopted by a state to protect its own citizens, but may affect trading partners if imports must meet new regulations. So, domestic policy can become foreign policy as a result of connections between issues, channels, and interdependence between actors. The decline of military. Complex interdependence means military force is not as effective or frequently used as in the past. Many issues of concern to states and non-state actors are not military. Climate change. Complete interdependence means states are constrained in use of military power because this power only harms multiple interests of states and other actors. Multiple channels, multiple issues, and decline in military mean that states realized that hostile actions are likely to harm their interests are as much as those of any potential rival. The multiple channels that connected non-state actors constrain states. Even if leaders recognize security threats and want to employ conflictual means, they often face resistance from public or powerful interest groups. The relationship between liberalism and democracy. In democracies where opposition is legal and citizens can hold their leaders to account, multiple channels are more likely to constrain leaders from conflict. According to liberal theory, the effects of complex interdependence will be more significant in a more democratic world. So, that's all. Thank you for your attention.